Crusader Kings 3, a game where you usually create a family with the best genetics in order to become the most powerful rulers in medieval Europe. However, today I'm going to be turning that concept on its head. One household, very alike in DNA, in fair Casterly Rock, where we lay our scene. From forth the fatal loins of these two twins, a pair of star-crossed lovers create the least genetically diverse dynasty the world has ever seen. So join me as I try and give the Habsburgs a run for their money as we take this family from count to emperors of the Holy Roman Empire. So I've made our starting characters adherents to the Adamite religion. This gives us immediate access to the unrestricted marriage doctrine. In keeping with the theme of the playthrough, we've taken a province with gold mines, giving us a very respectable starting gold per month. Unfortunately, the two best provinces to implement this strategy are not within the HRE, but let's not fret. What we lack in the gene pool, we more than make up for in gold income. One of the challenges we're going to face is that our lord is a religion that is hostile to ours, meaning he can very easily throw us in the slammer and take all of our lands. We are quickly going to trade some levy contribution for religious protection, and our liege is very happy to oblige. For this strategy to work, we're going to need a copious amount of children. So in order to increase our chances, I am taking the temptation focus for a bonus to fertility, as well as like weeds in a garden. We're only going to be sleeping with people with negative traits, or those that are a part of our dynasty. Our brother manages to do the deed. We soon give birth to a child with gigantism. And to bring harmony to the family, not long after, we give birth to a child with dwarfism. You may notice that we are picking up a few children with positive traits, but that's because we have the additional challenge of having our main characters starting with quick and robust. But don't worry, after a few generations we'll soon get rid of those. Because of our indiscretions, we are thrown in the prison. After a failed escape attempt, we pay a hefty ransom, but then immediately our liege tries to take all of our stuff, so we have to go to war. After cooking over our brother again, we give birth to this fine specimen, a haemophilic hunchback. Our brother then decides to wingman for us so that we can get impregnated by this lunatic. In one of the battles, during the war against our liege, our brother gets a little bit of a flesh wound.
'Tis but a scratch.
We cement our position through fear and strike terror in the hearts of our enemies, winning the war against our liege. After beelining for and ransacking their capital, he's forced to abdicate, and we're quick to pounce on this weakness, swiftly elevated to position of spymaster, leaving us free to pursue our carnal desires. After a long line of sons, we finally give birth to a daughter, much needed to carry out our nefarious plans. We continue to play it loose, searching far and wide for the worst traits that we can find, and we invest heavily into our economy so that we can always pay the debts of those mercenaries that we're definitely going to require. We're going to want that ducal title, preferably of Thuringia, because we already hold a bunch of the counties. But because of our very insular outlook, we're slightly lacking in allies. Before we're able to enact our fiendish plans, we are struck down, a mob of angry peasants beating us to death, our gigantic son and nephew taking up the mantle. With our motley crew of siblings, we're going to make sure we keep it in the family, as blood is thicker than water. A house divided against itself cannot stand, so we go to war to reunite the realm, our useless brother standing no match. After dealing with him, we head north, declaring war on our unsuspecting neighbour. Not being on best terms with our liege, we give away a bit more levies in order to protect our titles. We select the finest misfits in our realm to be our concubines, as we wait for our beloved betrothed to finally come of age. Our first child hearty and strong, most definitely not what we're looking for. We're going to have to find a way to disinherit him. Similarly, for our second child, a little too hardy. For our third one, turns out just right. We continue with our mother's plan to sow chaos in the ranks of our neighbours, dissolving their alliances through some carefully crafted murders. When the time comes to strike, we of course use mercenaries, who put absolute shame to our pathetic military forces. With their help, we're able to capture more of the counties that form the Duchy of Thuringia. We look to ensure that our extended family have been properly set up with suitable matches, and we now look to secure offspring from our very closest. Because of this new trait that we're getting with quite a large frequency, I'm going to be taking bounteous loins, in order to somewhat offset the fertility penalty. We level up our intrigue skill through inflicting pain, but still our murder schemes fall through. But we persevere. Just as things are looking up, we show signs of leprosy. A bittersweet end to our conquests. In preparation for our independence war, we begin to blackmail foreign rulers, and with some very precise surgical treatment, we'll live to see another day. With the degradation of our DNA on the horizon, we make sure to prepare for the future, building up the development in our realm capital. We then send an assassin after our liege, putting a 3-year-old in charge of the duchy. Again, not taking any chances, we hire an inordinate amount of mercs, quickly taking the capital and triumphing in the field, allowing us to now form the duchy because we're independent for a mere 250 gold. We continue marrying off our family members, breeding in all manner of deformities. We plead to be let on to the Emperor's Council, but it's safe to say we are firmly rejected. Our next round of treatment doesn't go all that well, leaving us with a rather nasty deformity, but somehow we continue to survive and build up our provinces for the future generations, pushing our fragile body to the limit to ensure the very worst inherit our domain and make sure to take feudal electives and extort who I can with my uncomfortable presence. Our machinations making our dynasty known far and wide, as well as our rather unconventional marriages. Just as we're about to make a play for some further duchies, our illness gets the better of us, and our inheritance laws split the realm into pieces. Our new heir not lasting very long, being assassinated just a few months into his reign. His half-sister, cousin and sister-in-law takes the reins, and she's also killed just a few days later. The cunning Duke Tywin coming out on top. He ends up getting into a few inter-family wars, but emerges triumphant due to his military prowess. He imprisons the dissenters, removes any of their claims, and revokes their titles, once again uniting the realm. A hunchback leper, one of our sons, doesn't make it. Taking a quick look at our family tree, it's still looking a little bit wide. We're going to try and merge this into one big straight line. I go for a desirable match next to increase marriage acceptance. For some reason it is a bit difficult to get marriages outside the family. We go family focus and take patriarch, giving us a boost to fertility before undergoing a botched treatment and dying prematurely too. Not a great run for these last 3 rulers. Trying to get alliances still quite a bit of a challenge because the big players think they are marrying down. We need to really try and get ourselves to be kings. So we go ahead and fabricate a hook on the Kaiser, giving us free rein to declare war on his vassals as we please. The nearby dukes almost always stronger than us because of our horrendous stats, but we can leverage our gold balances to make up the difference. For those who don't stand to inherit, we do start marrying some of them off to get some alliances with the other dukes. And after blackmailing the Kaiser for a second time, we force him to make us his steward for that juicy gold bonus. With the correct foundations in place, we begin a series of wars against the neighbouring dukes, bringing in our allies and crushing them decisively. We carefully juggle our council members to prevent the interference of hostile factions. Our plan is to subjugate as many of the duchies that form the Kingdom of Germany. We lose some of our lovers on the way, but war after war and victory after victory, our realm grows stronger and stronger while our genetics become weaker and weaker, with a total fool soon taking charge. Lacking the skills to do absolutely anything, we decide to respec our build into one that relies solely on fear. I mean, who wouldn't be scared of this person if you saw them in a dark alley? Reminds me of that time I once took a trip to Guernsey. Our nephew and husband also having a bit of a strange look about him. We decide to ally with our aunt and sister while enacting a reign of terror that is unfortunately very short-lived. Our enemies putting an end to our reign of fear with the fatal bite of a poisonous spider. Our son husband is our new heir, and because he owns another duchy, our death will strengthen the realm. Our rule likely to be short again due to our terrible stats. We fight to take lands in the north and south, before finally dying of complications. It's very interesting to see the evolution of our genetics. Almost looks like we've gone full circle. My next ruler, sick and depressed. Will they be the one to form the Kingdom of Germany? After a couple more wars, we end up at 23 counties, out of the whopping 40 required for the kingdom. Yet again, we don't last that long because of complications. This hideous little hunchback taking responsibility for the realm. We dump any of our remaining gold reserves into men-at-arms as we continue our wars of aggression. Checking up again on our family tree, we can see that all roads lead to the same child. Exactly the perfection we are looking for. To further offset our special traits, we take constant care, giving us a medium boost to health, and we always make sure to have a few murder schemes on the go, sowing chaos and confusion into the ranks of the neighbouring provinces. Our land grabs are paying off, as well as our investments into a standing army, boosting our military power up to a respectable level. And this is all while having a pathetic martial stat of 0. Our ambitions have not gone unnoticed, and we escape an assassination attempt. In order to secure the remaining provinces required to form the kingdom, we staged the abduction of our wife and sister, who received those provinces after the inheritance from our parents. Now what I didn't realise is that after declaring war, the success chance would drop so low. We get very lucky, and without the need to save scum, which of course I was going to do, we managed to snatch our first time. This leads to us winning the war straight off the bat. All that's required now is saving up 400 gold. On the cusp of victory, we are murdered yet again due to our terrible intrigue skills. But through clever disinheriting and the use of a nice warm bath, we're able to skip a generation and reforge the realm. Just a single war required against the Duchy of Lausitz. Then it's a case of putting on our accounting hat to balance the books and save up that 400 gold required to take the decision. Thankfully our steward is somewhat skilled and provides us a windfall. So we form the kingdom as soon as possible. Our newfound court, a slightly unsightly affair. Now, making it to Emperor is going to be quite challenging, especially because everyone hates us because of our special traits and religion. Following in the footsteps of our ancestors, we are murdered yet again. We have a long way to go before we can make up the 50k troops required to make a play for the Empire title. We decide to play tall, meaning developing our home counties as much as possible, and also max our fertility to get those valuable children we can use to create allies. We begin the long and arduous process of doing a claim throne scheme against the Kaiser. After years of laborious work, we bring our gold balances up to almost 60 gold per month. We have a successful claim throne scheme, after which we carry out a succession of murders on the emperors to ensure the realm is totally destabilized and ready for the taking. With our panoply of children married off to powerful allies, we declare war for the Empire, fighting numerous battles, and with our allies at our side, we manage to take the capital, enforcing our claim and taking the throne. Our family tree now looking a lot more consolidated. The final thing to do is get one of our family members with the special trait onto the throne. We make sure to enact high crown authority in order to enact high partition, and then when our time comes, Kaiser Joffrey II ascends the throne. With his amazing stats, the empire will surely prosper under his rule. And taking a look at the religious map, we can see that the Adamite religion is spreading its roots throughout the empire. If you enjoyed this playthrough and would like to see other unique challenges for CK3 and other games, then please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much for watching, and see you in the next one.